All right, I'm going to break down some tips for you guys and gals today for people who struggle to get enough protein in. And this is something that it really is kind of a noob problem, but I do see a lot of personal trainers out there who mention that their clients struggle with this and they try to give advice. And here's the thing that I'm going to say: as someone who's been doing this for decades, right? Been coaching for a very, very long time. Training a very long time, and closing in on 50 years old, I've picked up a few tips on this, and a lot of it has to do with your mindset. And keeping in mind, I've done phases where I eat as much as 400 or 500 grams of protein a day, and then people say, well, gosh, how do you do that? It's like, well, you just eat all protein. It's really not that hard. And once you've done something like that, you realize how easy it is. And here's the mistake people make. When they pick meals, whether they're going out to eat, no matter what they're doing, they tend to pick their meals based upon their carbs or their fat. Okay? Right? That's what people do. Like, even if they're going to go out, they're like, well, I'm getting a steak and potatoes, but it's like they'll get a fatty steak and they're thinking all about the potato and the other stuff. And it's like every meal should start really with your leaner protein. And you need to always be in that mindset. Okay? You need to always be in that mindset. So in other words, or extra sides of protein. Okay? So one of the things that I recommend for that, and I'll get to the sides in a minute, is to always just have that stuff handy. Have tons and tons and tons of prepared protein in your refrigerator. Okay, so that you can just throw it in whenever you need to. So I'll give you guys examples, and we're going to talk about really whole foods here, because if you're eating a bunch of junk food, you're probably not serious about your fitness goals anyways. Just be realistic. Definitely not worried about maximizing body composition, because people who still eat their treats, they tend to work them in with the last bit of calories they have for the day. They would never start their day off with a treat food. Okay, so when we're talking about adding protein, always start with protein. In other words, if you're thinking of chicken and rice, you always focus on the chicken first, right? Chicken should be the larger portion. If you struggle to get enough protein, you should be like, how much chicken can I force into this meal? And then think of rice on the side. All right, same thing when you're looking at pasta or burrito or taco, anything. It should always be the lean protein should be the focus. Always think in terms of that. How much chicken or how much turkey or how much lean beef do I need to have in this to get my numbers? Protein first. That's always your first thought, especially people chasing body composition. Everything else becomes the sides. It's not the meal. All right, same thing if you're going to eat breakfast. Now, obviously, if you're trying to do just a bunch of boxed cereals, this is going to be a problem. But how about if you're making your own? All right, people are like, well, I'm gonna do some oatmeal. Well, add a ton of Greek yogurt to it. Add protein powder to it. All right? So you need to be thinking in terms of Greek yogurt plus oats. Even if you're going to put fruit or whatever in it. Okay? So big thing of Greek yogurt. Then you add the oats and the fruit and maybe a scoop of protein in. If you do every meal that way, or at least your first couple of meals a day, you're going to have no trouble hitting your protein needs. You get women who say, I could never get 150 grams. Man, I could never get 200 grams. And it's like, you should be able to do that before noon. What are you talking about? It is nothing to get 50 to 80 grams of protein in a meal, but you have to think in those terms. Okay, so if you start your breakfast off thinking of the Greek yogurt, the protein powder, then the other stuff you're adding. I don't care whether it's oats or grits, or even if you're going to do a cereal. Well, let's say you have some healthy cereal you like. Well, get one of those higher protein milks, right? Fairlife, Mutopia. Keep the fat low in it or zero fat. Now you're not wasting calories. Okay? Use that for your meal, like whatever whole grain cereal you're eating. Put a scoop of protein on top of that. Scoop of whey protein. See how simple that is? Done. A lot of times your breakfast is, again, 50 to 80 grams of protein. Dealing with the lunch. Always start with the portions of the lean protein. the chicken, the turkey, the dairy. And add protein powders as necessary. It's really easy. That's the benefit of shakes. It's not that protein shakes are magical. It's that they allow easy protein. And if you start your day off early, it becomes extremely easy. So, let's say you're eating meals at home or whatever, just throw some chicken breast in. Okay, that's the other trick too. It doesn't matter what you're eating. If you have 5 pounds of chicken breast cooked in your fridge, you can always grab some chicken and dice it up and throw it into whatever you need. If you need a quick snack, instead of people like, oh, I'm going to eat some nuts or I'm going to eat some fruit, why don't you eat some Greek yogurt and then add the fruit? That should be your snack. Okay, do you see where we're going with this? You're still coming up short. Drink a protein shake before bed. All right, the same thing when you go out to eat somewhere. Almost every single place will have a lean protein you could add on the side. Okay, so let's say you do go out to eat somewhere. I don't care what you're having. Your steak and potato. I'm just listing that. A lasagna, whatever. I don't care. At Olive Garden. You can always get chicken breast on the side. Also, almost every restaurant will include a Caesar salad. You can get that without the dressing or light dressing. It'll have chicken breast in it. You can order a side of an extra chicken breast that's been grilled up. Okay? This is super easy. Same thing, pick the leaner cuts of meat. Don't get the fattiest steak, get a leaner cut of steak. That way you're getting more protein for your calories. Okay, this is very straightforward. Same thing, a lot of places will add extra protein to things. All right, you go to Chipotle, they'll give you the double serving of chicken. Look at the menu and pick the stuff that's highest in protein per calorie. This is how you get enough protein. It's very easy. You just fixate on it. And when it becomes your normal, you're always just adding protein to everything. And before long, it's easy to get 200 grams, 250 grams, 300 grams. But you have to think about protein. And it's always, think of your meals as the protein first. Don't ever eat things that don't have protein in it. Just don't do it. Never have a snack that's just fruit. Unless you've already had 300 grams of protein for the day, then by all means. Okay? And keep them in your fridge. Keep whatever lean meats you like. Keep whatever lean dairy. Keep tons of tofu. If you're not a meat eater, a bunch of cooked or grilled up tofu in the fridge, ready to go. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.